Tamik Kirkland.
Tamik Kirkland.
Tamik Kirkland, the inmate who was shot during a gunfight with police following a deadly shooting at a Springfield barbershop. In a report released Wednesday by the Department of Correction, it is believed that Kirkland made a dummy and placed it in his bed to fool prison officials at the MCI Shirley prison. He then escaped through a third-floor window that opened to a fire escape. Days after his escape, he opened fire at a barbershop in the city and killed a man and shot another.
A Springfield jury found Tamik Kirkland guilty on all counts, including first-degree murder this morning. 22 News reporter David McKay is live at the Hampden County Hall of Justice with reaction from the family of the unintended victim.
Kirkland showed no emotion as he heard the guilty verdicts. The jury decided that Kirkland had escaped from an eastern Massachusetts prison and days later started a shooting in a State Street barbershop, killing Sheldon Innocent, an unintended target.
A man convicted of killing another man in a shooting at a Springfield barbershop back in 2011 has been denied a new trial. Tamik Kirkland was convicted of murder in the first degree for the death of Sheldon Innocent.
Hey guys, my name's Deidre. Today we're going to be interviewing Tamik Kirkland. Unfortunately, he has been sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder. He has a website out called www.freekirkland.com. You guys make sure you check that out, okay? It's very important. This interview is going to be based off of a lot of the stuff on that website, so please make sure you check that out. Once again, it's www.freekirkland.com. And yeah, let's get into it. Calling in right now, Tamik.
Call from
not guilty.
An incarcerated individual at Massachusetts Department of Corrections. This call is not private. It will be recorded and may be monitored. If you believe this should be a private call, please hang up and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number. To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free, thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hello?
Hello, hello. How are you?
Fine, how are you? Good evening.
I'm good. Thank you for calling in today. We're so excited to hear your story and your half of everything. I'm so excited to get this interview started and hear your perspective on everything. So, if you don't mind introducing yourself for the audience.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Tamik Kirkland. I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts. I'm currently being warehoused in Susan Baranowski Correctional Center. That's in Shirley, Massachusetts.
Okay. Now, as I stated in my intro video, you are sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
That's correct.
And once again, guys, if you need anything, he does have a website up right now. It's pretty much like a part one. It's www.freekirkland.com. Don't forget to check that out. I will be referencing that a lot during this interview, just to give you guys a few reminders and how important it is to go check that website out. All right, so now my first question is, for one, this is for the viewers or the people who have not read or hopped onto the website yet. I want to really get into the beginning of everything, introduce how, when they do read the website, there's a term called, walk away. In your website, pretty much just the first sentence, the first everything, you walk away from a minimum security facility because your mother was shot, correct?
Right.
Elaborate a little bit on that.
At that time, I was doing 2.5 to 4 years, and I only had a few months before my earliest release.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then I got the news, and it was devastating news. I was crushed. So my mind immediately went to protective mode, and I felt I needed to find out what was going on with my mom and just make sure everybody was safe, which is why I left and walked away from the minimum security facility. And I call it a walk away, and I'm not. It's not even me calling it walk away. That's how it was. That's how they used to term it. Because minimum facilities do not have cement walls or huge barbed wire fences. So most people there are almost free anyways.
So you can literally. Sorry to interrupt you. So you can literally walk out. If you're leaving your house or something, you can just walk out.
Right. So it's you just leaving the house like a teenager would do. if they want to go to a party. Like, it's just leaving the premises. So, and at the time of my incident, when a person leaves the institute, that kind of institution, they're just walking away. So in Massachusetts, that's really what it was called, a walk away.
Okay.
But because of the politics of my situation, the powers that be only really use the word escape. But that's not how it used to. That's not how it was termed back around that time in 2011.
Okay, but now in 2024, it's escaped.
Yeah, well, right after my incident in term, they started using the word escape for even walkaways. Yes.
Okay. Let's get a little more into, like you said, you was all over the place when you found out your mother got shot. Now, your mother got shot. She's alive. She's fine. She's well, correct?
Yeah, she's doing well. Yep.
And we don't know who shot Mama. We don't know anything of the above.
Oh no, I don't know. Who shot her? So when everything happened, like I didn't when I left the facility, I didn't factor in that the media would have my photo everywhere, and law enforcement would be raiding every address to anyone that was connected with me and my family, which is what happened as soon as they knew I walked away. Mm-hmm. So when that took place, I wasn't able to communicate with the people that I really needed to communicate with in order to find anything out.
Okay.
So I wasn't really able to figure that out.
So in the time that you left to go check on your mom and make sure she was straight and everything, in those 7 to 8 days or whatever, there was a homicide in a barbershop, correct?
Yes, that happened, yes.
Okay. How many days, was that correct? It was 7 days after you walked away from the facility that the homicide happened?
It was about 5 or 6 days. I want to say 5 days maybe.
Okay. Now, was there any connection between the barbershop shooting and your mom? And your mom?
No. So the police did come up with a theory, but there was no evidence to support their theory, so I wasn't even really able to even get to work because the evidence didn't support whatever they was trying to put together.
Okay. So, why you? What led to your arrest? If there was no connection between your mom and the barbershop shooting, why you? What led to your arrest?
I believe it was the politics surrounding my name, especially my name around that time. I was wanted for escape, in which the media immediately tells the public that I'm out to avenge my mom's shooting, and that's in their own minds. It's like I couldn't have been concerned about family safety to them. I don't know why. But that's just what they came to, but that never came from me. So around this time, for any shooting that occurred in the city while I was out there, I was the prime suspect, even with no evidence at all.
Yeah,
I even have some of this in my legal paperwork. So then a homicide occurs right in the neighborhood. And about 15 minutes later, I'm observed trying to leave the area. I'm not trying to leave because I've committed the act 15 minutes before, but because the heat was brought to where I was at, and I had an active warrant. Okay. So I just was trying to leave, and that led to the police shooting me, and me shooting back in defense, and that really pissed the government off. Because to them, I'm a black male, I was just supposed to let them kill me, but my instincts wouldn't allow me to do that. And I honestly believe that that's the reason I'm still here today. Amen. But because of the politics surrounding my entire situation, it's like they had to make these charges stick.
I understand. That makes sense. If a black man escapes from jail and a homicide happens 5 days later, anyone's going to think, it has something to do with you, So I understand that why stuff like that happen. And the politics, like you said, behind your name. If you really check out the website, www.freekirkland.com, you would see a lot of stuff, a lot of misrepresentation, a lot of media, foul play and stuff like that. So you definitely have to check out the website so you can really understand the questions that I'm asking him. Back to the questions. Now, were there any other witnesses in this situation?
All right, so there was one witness. There was only one witness in my case as far as identity of the shooter. He was a barber inside the barbershop on Daryl King. He described the shooter as a black male with braids or cornrows in his hair. And the police showed him a photo array of 8 black males, but only one person wearing cornrows in his picture, which was me. And even then, he still didn't immediately identify me as the shooter. So the witness, he selected my photo by using a process of elimination. which is something that a student would use on a multiple choice question on a test. So, and I say by process of elimination, and I mean it literally because from the 8 photographs that they showed him, he put 4 to the side so he could look at them again. Then from the 4 photos that he put aside, he put 2 of those to the side so he could look at them for a 3rd time. And then from the last 2 photos, he said it mainly looked like number 7, which was my photo, and I'm the only person in the photo array with braids. So and that's even on my, as far as mainly look like number 7, that's even on identification paperwork that witnesses have to sign, and you can see his initials in it, DK, throughout the whole thing.
Now, could that technically be considered a positive ID? No, right?
No, that's the opposite of a positive ID.
Because
so the
everything
photo
they
was
did.
suggestive, right? And they call it suggestive because the police made my photo stand out, and that's especially when it's containing the exact distinguishing trait that the witness described the shooter having, which in this case is cornrows. Because they could have easily had two more people with braids in the photo array and made it a little bit more fair. But they purposely didn't do that, and that's to suggest to the witness to pick my picture.
Exactly.
And because misidentification is the leading cause of wrongful convictions, the courts and the police departments put safeguards in place to prevent that from happening. In my case, besides making this horrible photo array and making my photo stand out, the police violated several other safeguards to get the witness to identify me as a shooter. And I briefly explained that on Kirkland.com as well. Because I'm an expert, identification expert, testified that the police actions increased the chances of a misidentification in my case. And she even said that the identification was less than 30% reliable. So there's really can't be a positive identification. It's not even reliable according to the experts. And the ID that put me and this is the ID that put me at the scene. It was the only direct evidence of me in this case.
So let's just clarify. For the viewers and anyone who didn't read the website, they pretty much, had to do an ID. And the only thing that draws you to this is an ID, your identification. And the identification was that you had braids. Now, to confirm, you did not have braids at the time, correct?
No, I did not have braids at the time of the shooting. The police used an old photo array in that array from when I did have braids. But at the time of the shooting, I wore a very low haircut, and it was too low for braids or to even add extensions to it. And the DA and the police, they knew that I had low haircut at the time of this. It's even on the website. It's a video of me in the hospital the day after the shooting. I got a low haircut. I got tubes down my throat. I'm in critical condition. And then they took my mugshots and my booking photos 6 days later, and I'm still in the hospital. So to the DA, so they knew that I had low haircut at the time. And to fight that, the DA had 3 witnesses lie and say that I wore cornrows on the day of the incident. One was a girl that was at the house